Hello, this is the trade site Forex market preview and international economic data roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, June 14th and ending Friday, June 19th, 2015. Hope you had a good trading week. A little light week, wasn't too exciting compared to some of the weeks we've seen in the last few months, but nevertheless, here's a look at the US dollar index. Completed a new 9-bar down startup phase on Friday, so we are looking at a potential short-term bounce anyways. We've got the red static trend line as support below and the green static trend line as resistance above. Let's take a look at some of the major pairs that we track. The euro dollar looks very much like the opposite of the dollar index, obviously. 9-bar set up to the upside there. Pretty narrowly contained for the last, since January, late January or so. The pound dollar um, also has decent activity this last week, but still mid-range for the last month or so. Here's a look at the Aussie dollar. Very flat. This thing's been stuck down here since February. One attempt to move up, but really, if you look at this, it's basically a 200, 250 pip range since February. So that's poor. New Zealand dollar breaking down, and then one of the cross pairs, the pound yen. Nice breakout of a base formation, and now after retesting that breakout point, starting to turn out and take out a high range base. So interesting layout there. Let's take a look at the intra-week action. Here's a look at the 30-minute candles on the euro dollar to start with. You can see we came up last Sunday, opened flat, rallied all day Monday. That was the biggest range of the week. Tuesday was dead flat. Wednesday was dead flat. Thursday rolled to the downside a little bit, but not much. Friday we wiggled to the south side and then came back up. So the only real action there was on opportunity was on Monday for real good movement. Here's a look at the pound, also opened flat. Didn't head up as much Monday as the euro, and was kind of flat Tuesday with a new spike down and a new spike back up. Wednesday was the better trading day on the pound to the upside. Thursday was flat. Friday was flat until the data came out and then popped a little bit. Total range for the week here is about 350 pips. By the way, total range on the euro dollar for the week was, let's go back and look at that, didn't cover it. Total range for the week there is only, it's about 320 pips or so. Let's take a look at the economic data that's due out this week. This is triple expiration. Options, futures, and commodities. It does tend to have an impact on Friday on the Forex market because everything's locked in place, including the currencies, because the currency futures do expire, even though Forex does not. So we've got the right move HPI number out of the UK tonight. That's the lone data point. And then Monday, PPI out of Switzerland in the morning, retail sales out of Switzerland, trade balance out of Europe, Canada's manufacturing sales. We've got Empire State Manufacturing Index out of the U.S., capacity utilization, industrial production out of the U.S., NAHB Housing Market Index out of the U.S., TIC long-term purchases. Monday night, Australia's monetary policy meeting minutes from the last meeting and new motor vehicle sales. Going into Tuesday, Germany has their final CPI. UK has all their inflationary numbers, the CPI, the PPI, the RPI, and the HPI all come out at once. It's a good way to do that, really. European Court of Justice ruling. Not sure what that one is. German zoo economic sentiment and European zoo economic sentiment, and then the employment change out of Europe. Let me see something real quick here. Do they have is due to announce a ruling regarding the constitutionality of the ECB's outright monetary transaction policy. So evidently this is a big enough deal that they've decided to put this European Court of Justice ruling as an economic point, even though we don't know the exact time of day, of course, it'll be released. So evidently that's expected to have an impact on the currency market. Canada, foreign security purchases, U.S. building permits and housing starts, UK's CB leading index, New Zealand current account and GDP price index, Japan's trade balance, MI leading index out of Australia, and then going into Wednesday, Italian trade balance, we've got unemployment rate and earnings data out of the UK, zoo economic expectations out of Switzerland, CPI out of Europe, German 10-year bond auction, wholesale inventories out of Canada, crude oil inventories out of the US. We've got a rate announcement this week, so a 2-day Fed meeting. That'll mess up Tuesday and Wednesday for us a bit. 2 p.m. Eastern time, and then the press conference 30 minutes later. GDP out of New Zealand that night. Going into Thursday, trade balance out of Switzerland, their LIBOR rate, that's their bank rate basically. ECB economic bulletin at 4 a.m. Eastern time out of Europe. Retail sales out of the UK. Spanish 10-year bond auction. US, we've got the CPI, that's one of our big three, so we'll be half size ahead of Wednesday for the Fed announcement, half size ahead of Thursday for the CPI, also the weekly unemployment claims numbers, Philly Fed CB leading index, and natty gas. Japan's monetary policy statement, so the Bank of Japan also doing their thing this week, going into Friday, and then Friday is usually dull because of triple expiration. We've got the German PPI, Bank of Japan press conference from their announcement, current account out of Europe, UK public sector net borrowing, the CPI out of Canada, and retail sales out of Canada to wrap the week. So, a lot going on, including the Fed, but 2 nights will be half-sized because of the news. We don't like to get beaten up with spikes on news, and we'll go from there. Friday, I'm not expecting much. We'll be in the lab helping you make money. If you're not taking a trial of our services, feel free to do so. If you do find these videos useful, please like us on YouTube. It does help us out. Charts brought to you by eSignal 12. Have a great week.